Your best life is on the other side of boredom. The life that we have on the other side of facing that boredom, the quality of our relationships that we'll find, the quality of the life that we'll have when we actually pass through it. Like, think of boredom like a veil. Think of the sense of lack like a veil. And when we're constantly trying to avoid it, we never pass through it. Now, your life looks literally like this. You're either bouncing away from the sense of lack and living a life that is in resistance to the naked, pure experience of just simply being alive, or you face that sense of lack and boredom and you pass through the veil. And on the other side of that veil, it's going to be the best life that you could possibly have, because it's going to be the you that, despite of having the car, despite of having the girl, despite of having the mansion, despite of having anything in human experience, your happiness, your fulfillment is not dependent on anything in the human experience. Could there be any more freedom than that? To know that you're sitting there one day with the best life ever, and know, despite the amazing life that you have, it is not responsible for your happiness. That is true power. That is true freedom. And that is the freedom that we're all seeking but do not know how to find. By the way, I have a free community where I show people how to find and access this freedom 5 times a week in live coaching and meditations. I don't even ask you for a donation. The link is in the description if you'd like to check it out. Every single day, people are escaping this simple sense of lack by doing the craziest things. Some people will just use their phone. Some people will just think. Some people will start to smoke. Some people will start to vape. Some people will start to become an entrepreneur. Some people will start to desire to be a millionaire. Some people will try to get an amazing body. Some people will become heroin addicts. And the people who find like this material success through like escaping boredom and trying to become like super rich or even famous, they're sitting in their mansion still fucking bored. Why can't we sit there in a room with nothing happening for more than 10 minutes without feeling uncomfortable? This is the final boss mission. So the way that we can face this is very simple. We need to recognize what that resistance is. That resistance is what we could call a sense of lack, and it is made of resistance, okay? So in other words, it's made of the fact that for whatever reason, we are not content with what is happening. And we want something else to replace it. And the reason we want something else to replace it is because we believe happiness exists in the other thing that will replace it. To put that shortly, we believe that happiness doesn't exist in the current moment that we're in, and that happiness has to be found somewhere else. Now, when we have this identification with that, what happens is that we actually develop an identity that is solely predicated upon this movement towards happiness outside of ourselves. And then what happens is that we don't want to let go of that identity, because our identity is tied to survival, and survival is dependent on whether we're dead or alive, right? And we want to be alive. But the problem is we attach that aliveness that we all know and feel onto this motion of seeking, this activity of seeking, this activity of going towards things, thinking of things, planning things, and avoiding the current moment. So the minute that there is not an activity, the minute that there's just genuinely peace, we start to resist the moment, because we're resisting the identity. The identity is about to fall away. The identity that we've built around seeking, resisting, and suffering is falling away, because there's no activity there, and we've attached ourselves to that moment, and we don't want to let go of it. So we resist it, and therefore we resist the moment, and therefore we keep going towards objects. I'll check my phone, I'll read this, I'll look at that, I'll think of this. If we were to relax this tendency by facing the resistance to it, we recognize that our identity doesn't actually fall away. And the more that we can open ourselves up to feeling this motion, feeling this energy, is to the degree in which we will be at peace at any given moment. Boredom is an abundance of lack. You are so abundant, so free that you're just filling yourself with lack. Another way of putting it is saying that boredom is peace resisting itself. You are infinite peace, completely peaceful and happy, and you're resisting it. You're resisting it because you're identifying with the belief that happiness doesn't exist in the moment, so therefore you try to find it somewhere else. Happiness is the nature of experience. And when we recognize that, we no longer go outwardly to find it. So this means that when you do face that boredom, your entire life will change because the decisions you make will change, and they will be on behalf of not trying to run from this boredom, this sense of lack. It'll be your relationships will change because they'll be on behalf of not running from your boredom, trying to find another human being to fulfill your sense of lack. The job and the career and the fulfillment of how you make money day to day will change because you're no longer running from this boredom to find money quickly to change or alter or remove this sense of lack. If you're already coming from a place of pure peace, then you are going to create the expression of that pure peace in the external reality. If you're running out into reality in accordance with this belief of lack and boredom and trying to avoid it, then guess what you're going to do? You're going to create a life in accordance with that belief. And therefore, you will do all the things you don't really want to be doing just so you can be escaping the sense of lack. So once you face that, you are facing the final boss mission of life. Ultimately, there's no greater feat than to be able to sit down no matter where you are and to be completely peaceful and happy without a cause. That's it for today.